Hello, thanks for tuning in to my first YouTube video in a while. I was just preparing my quarterly newsletter for my Piccavey blog readers and subscribers, and I thought there was so much that had been going on in May, June and July so far that I thought it was better to make a video and give you a quick update, because there was a lot of content and I didn't want to send a massive newsletter out. So, going back to May, you'll remember that one of my last newsletters was an invitation to join me on an evening on a wine tasting. It was in a Granada art gallery, and we had a really nice evening. It went really well, so I was really pleased with that, and it seemed that everybody who attended had a nice time. That was with Bodega Aranzada, who are in Alamar de Granada. So there were four local wines, and we did the wine tasting in an art gallery, and yeah, it was a good evening. So I've got my bottle of wines, which I was given. I've still got that to enjoy. This was one of the best, in my opinion, on the night. It's the Rosé, which is the sweet wine. So I'll probably have that sometime over the summer. So yeah, the next wine tasting or the next event I'm looking to do in early autumn. So really looking forward to that. And then in May, I was also in Barcelona. I went to see Adele at Palau Sant Jordi. And then I used to live in Barcelona, as you know. I lived there for about 8 years. So I go once or twice a year to catch up with old friends, old work colleagues. And I really miss life in Barcelona as well. So it's always great to go and catch up and see how the city's changing and new places. So I went to see Adele at Palau Sant Jordi, which was amazing, because she was only playing in Spain. She'd only got 2 dates in Barcelona, so I was really lucky to get tickets to see her, and it was pretty amazing. I mean, I'm repeating myself, but there's no words to express how you feel when you go to one of her concerts. She's such a genuine person. Her voice is off the scale live. If you've got access to iPlayer, she's just done Glastonbury Festival, and the Barcelona concert was very similar to the Glastonbury Festival. So you can watch that on the iPlayer if you've got access to it. It's still on the Glastonbury set. Anyway, what else did I do in Barcelona? Oh, I went to see the Hospital Sant Pau, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So I was thrilled to get another one of those ticked off my list. I'm working through 44 UNESCO World Heritage Sites that are in Spain, and I've done I think about 22 now with the Hospital. Hospital Sant Pau is a modernist building, which was a hospital until a few years ago, and it's stunning, very colourful, wide spaces, outdoor gardens, modernist architecture. And I'll be doing a post about my visit to Barcelona, because it was 3 or 4 days which is jam-packed with activity and things I hadn't been to before. I also went to El Molino, which is an emblematic theatre which is doing burlesque and cabaret, and that was great fun as well. That was a really good girls' night out. So I'll be writing that up all on the blog when I get a chance. I expect to do that before the end of July, so it's coming up soon. Also coming up on the blog is an interview I did with Thriving Abroad. Thriving Abroad, doing podcasts with people who live abroad all over the world. So if you're thinking about taking a year out or moving away, changing countries, or the expat life interests you, or it's something you're thinking about doing in the future, Thriving Abroad have podcasts. They're on Twitter, they have a website, and my interview which I did with them in May is coming out this week as a podcast, so I'll put that up on the blog, and I'll let you know on Twitter and Facebook also. But I recommend that generally, apart from the fact that my interview is going to be on there. that if you want to live abroad, that might be a good resource for you to get perspective from different people with different lifestyles in different places across the world or even in Europe. So I'm looking forward to hearing the results of that because I've not had the interview yet. And then now what we're on, May was, as you can see, pretty packed, and then from June it was also busy. So on the blog, you'll have seen the latest post was about Sierra Nevada. Well, I thought I knew Sierra Nevada, but it turns out I didn't. I've just been on a trip that was from all the edges of the Sierra Nevada National and Natural Park. So that runs from the ski station, which would be Monachil, then Dilar, and then you come down, and then it's the Alpujarras, so that would be Lancaron, Pampanera, Capilera, and as you move across, hang on, I've got the map here to help me because it's such a vast space. As you move across, you go up further into the Alpujarras, so that would be Bercheles, Methina Bomberon, La Roles, and then you come along, and then you will reach, if you keep going, you reach the Almeria side of the Alpujarra, and then down into Canghaya and the very corner of the natural park, which is Al Boludui, and we went on a hike there through a dry rambler or river bed. It's like a canyon, and it reminded me of Bryce Canyon. It's a hike I did in the US in a national park called Bryce Canyon. And this Al Boludi Rambler was just really similar. And then as we moved along the park, we moved up to Guadix, Alcudia de Guadix, which is well known for its cave houses. And I got to sleep in a cave in the Cuevas del Tío Tobas. And I had to wear a fleece when I went in the cave because it was so cool. I mean, this is at the end of June in Granada, so it was just divine to go inside this cave. I think, oh, it's chilly, I have to put on my North Face fleece. So that was a really good night's sleep in this natural cave. Again, I did do a blog about the different landscapes, the contrast in Sierra Nevada, but I've got so much to say about this trip because there were so many different experiences. I'll still blog more about that, about Lancaron, about a spa treatment we had in Lancaron, and then the caves more in detail because that's it's interesting and it's something I've got to know firsthand, although I didn't know about them before. And then we went further up to the park to the Mar Casado area, and we saw the Caravacas del Marchal, which looks a very impressive landscape. And then you come back, and that is all of the park. So it's a really vast area. And I think when people mention Sierra Nevada, they tend to think, skiing, or if they know a bit more, they might think, oh, well, that's the Alpujarra villages. But so much more to it than that. And so I'll invite you to go and check that out on the blog post. Some of the photos are stunning. They were taken by an aged photographer, some of the photos. So they're not with my iPhone like they tend to be. Some of them are a bit better photos this time. And what else did I do in June? Oh, on the blog we had the flamenco book competition. So that was the Flamenco Baby and Men Dancing by Cherry Radford. Those two, that giveaway was for 2 books, and that's been won by one of my readers, Dee Morell in Massachusetts. So I sent those off just yesterday. I sent them over in the post, so that's I'm thrilled that he entered and that he can read those books over the summer. And then you will have seen on my Piccavey Facebook page that I met Alex Polizzi, the hotel inspector, and there'll be more coming up about that later on in the autumn. So that was really exciting. It was great to meet her because she's one of the people that I can really say inspires me. I like to see her straight talking on her programs, and I've followed it. I've followed her programs for a long time, so it was a real thrill to meet her. And then what have we got coming up? So July, Lorca's Theatre Festival. So in the Alpujarras, there's an outdoor theatre, and they have a festival throughout the whole of summer. So it's on July and August. Every weekend there's different things going on. They've got Shakespeare plays in English. They've got some Lorca plays in Spanish. There's flamenco. The ticket prices are really reasonable. So if you're in Granada or even in Almeria, or you feel like a break from the heat, from the intense heat, up there it's going to be cooler than on the coast, and certainly than in the cities. I'm going to go along to see one of the plays, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I think it's a real special project. So if you can support it, either by going, or you can even do the filacero. There's like a special row where you can sponsor the event even if you can't go. So yeah, I'm really pleased to be supporting and to be attending the Lorca's Theatre Festival. Me Vuelves Lorca. If you want more information, you can find Me Vuelves Lorca online, or you can check my blog. It's one of the most recent blogs I've got on my site. And then I'll be going to Almeria, like I tend to do in summer, because I really enjoy the atmosphere there. I find it very relaxing. It's not too busy, and last year I did a road trip from the Granada side of Almeria up to Murcia. So now I've got more or less worked out where I'll be going this year. You can check that out on the blog. It's called Almeria Road Trip, and I'll be Instagramming photos when I'm in Almeria over the summer. So I'm sorry this video, after ages, is so long. The newsletter will be going out with some of these updates, but I thought that what I'd got to explain from June, July, and May was too much for the newsletter. So I thought I'd check in and do a video for you. Your comments are welcome as always, and the next post on the blog will be Barcelona, and will be the Thriving Abroad podcast. So it's been great that you've tuned in, and thanks for getting through the 12 minutes until the end.